And away we go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, Marty Johnson, a.k.a. Dawg Knight. And today, I feel bad. I knew it was going to snow. I knew we were going to get a lot of it. And I had everything ready. I had my truck ready. I had my snow. I bought a new snowblower, and this is the first big snow, so I was excited about that. And I got my truck ready. I got a new truck. The four-wheel drive works just fine on it. Got through the snow, got back to work, and then I got caught in a mess of people who were just stuck in the snow. So I ended up helping them, and so I'm running a little late today. Good morning, Zero the Hero. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Tyler F. Oh, you know about Zorba's. Yes, Zorba's is a great pizza chain up in northwest Minnesota. Originated in Detroit Lakes, Minnesota, and there's several around the Detroit Lakes area. So Zorba's is a fantastic spot. This is the one from Alexandria. My wife and I did a little side trip to Alexandria recently. So, good morning. We're going to have kind of the usual thing. We're going to have being that is my show, of course, we're going to have some fucketry from the whole Covington story, another stupid article of stupidity, some tweets, and then we'll get into what's trending today, see what we're going to be talking about today on Twitter, and then if we get to a few headlines, but I'm going to have to cut it a little shorter than normal. We'll probably go for about an hour today. So again, welcome those of you who are here, and I have tweeted out the link. If you would mind sharing that, that'd be great. I'll put that in the chat, and we are good to go. Hopefully we'll get a few more people in here, and as we grow every day, I'm up to 159 subscribers. That's up from, I only had 80 30 days ago, so that's fantastic. East North Dakota, so near Fargo-ish, Fargo-Moorhead area probably, or somewhere up there. DL Detroit Lakes is what Zero's talking about, is a really fun chain of lakes. There's a whole lot of stuff going on up there, especially in the summer. They get a couple big country music festivals. They also get just the pastime of people who live in the Twin Cities to go up north. So that's what we do. We go up north and we go to the lakes, and we have plenty of friends with cabins on lakes, and some of the cabins are more like mansions, but some people just have it, and some people just have to dream about it. So anyway, I do have my cup of reparations coffee ready to go, and away we go. So most of you is probably tired of me talking about the Covington kids, but another article of fucketry from Jonathan Capehart, who is a New York Times columnist, and he decided he's doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on the old Covington story. And so today let's see, what day is this from? Oh, this was oh no, I think I'm screwed. Well, I can't. Do I have this open already somewhere else? Please tell me I do. Oh, I do not. Well, I've been collecting articles because I'm still going to do a long form video. It's going to be a really long form video on this. Anyway, basically Jonathan Capehart, his article said, hey, good morning, Jason Burns. His article says to the effect, nothing justifies what the Covington kids did. No amount of rude, homophobic, racist, anti-Catholic invective from loons such as the Black Hebrew Israelites justifies the students' actions. Oh, that's from the Washington Post. Now, I had that article. Why won't you see it? Oh, it says keep reading for $1. For $1. Do I want to spend $1? No, I don't. I'm not going to give a dime to the Washington Post. They suck. I can't stand them. Anyway, let's see. But there is another interesting article. Let's go here. Let's pop this one up. I haven't even read it, so we're gonna go into this blind. Teacher put on leave after #Hitler Youth tweets about Covington controversy. Man who complained about teacher to the school board escorted out by security. A school teacher and union leader in Colorado has been put on leave for calling a Covington Catholic student a member of the Hitler Youth, and a resident who criticized the teacher was escorted from the school board meeting following a heated assembly. Shortly after the Covington Catholic episode in the National Mall went viral, Douglas County teacher Michelle Grissom tweeted about one of the Covington students. His name is redacted. Now, we already know his name is Nick Sandman, but that's okay. Good morning. Hey, Camel. What's up, buddy? His Twitter account is closed to non-followers, so we won't interfere with his training in the Hitler Youth. Oh, isn't she sweet? Grissom's tweet read, While the student does attend Covington Catholic, he was not in attendance with the group that day. Now, if you're not familiar with this part of the story, the internet sleuths of the world went out and found a kid who looks similar to him in the yearbook, and they doxed him. And as his family was at a wedding that weekend, they began to get just, people found their phone numbers, people found their cell phone numbers, people found about a whole bunch of stuff about him, and he was getting doxxed, and it's as a case of mistaken identity. And it's amazing to me, these are still 16-year-old kids. I noticed, I watched a video by Joe Rogan this morning. He finally kind of backed off on his nonsense too. We'll talk about that later. Hey, I see a new face in the chat. Grillin' Pirate Pete. Good morning. Nice to see you. So anyway, here we go. While the student does attend Covington Catholic, he was not in attendance with the group that day, according to his father, who tweeted that information back to Grissom. What was that little beep? I got a little beep. Let me find out what that beep was. Just new subscriber. Good morning. I don't know. Maybe that's you, Pete. For some reason when I do this, I haven't figured out how to set this up so I can see what's coming on. So we're just gonna. I hope that was you. I probably should look on. Oh, I bet it shows up on my screen here. Anyway, all right. Let's not go into Inception. Let's finish this article real quick. Who tweeted that information back to Grissom? Oh, okay. So while the student does attend Covington Catholic, he was not in attendance with the group that day, according to his father, who tweeted that information back to Grissom. I assure you this is not redacted. So that's why the name's redacted. He wasn't even part of the group. Good morning, Jaeger Pony. Welcome. I think it's the first time I've seen you on the chat, too. I assure you, he is not so-and-so. He played in a varsity basketball game last night in Park Hills, Kentucky, and another game today in Middletown, Ohio, the father tweeted back in reply. So this kid was playing basketball during this whole thing. He later tweeted directly to the Douglas County School District, noting that even though he felt he had proven his son was not the person identified, Grissom had left her original tweet standing with no clarification or correction. And note, she tweeted this kid's name, who wasn't even there, and put his Twitter account on there. Since then, Grissom's entire Twitter account has been deleted. This is the teacher who tweeted this out. Way to go, lady. Where are we at? Tuesday, the principal at the middle school where Grissom teaches sent out a notice that she had been placed on leave. I'm writing to share the news regarding one of the social studies teachers at MRMS. The email began. Michelle Grissom is currently on leave. Please understand that I am unable to share specific details as this is a personal matter. So anyway, So this father goes to the school board. Let's check out this real quick. It says, a man at the Douglas County School Board meeting tonight was escorted out by an officer after he brought up tweets attributed to a district history teacher, tweets that referenced the Covington Catholic incident in D.C. and called the student a Hitler Youth. Now, let's see. So they escorted this guy out. Let's just watch the video here. Now, again, I'm going into this blind today. Like I said, I'm behind schedule, so I'm just pulling up quick articles and going with them. Before I do this, though, good morning, Jaeger Pony. I think I already said that, maybe. Good morning also to Old Grouchy Gamer, one of my regulars. Good to see you. All right, let's watch this. Let's watch this piece of video.
This leads me to discuss the district's social media policy tonight.
Ooh, I don't know if you can hear that. It's pretty soft.
Here we are, a community incensed by a teacher's social media posts.
I'm going to go back here. Hopefully you can hear it.
This leads me to discuss the district's social media policy tonight. Here we are, a community incensed by a teacher's social media posts. Nobody wants to be here discussing this. But no matter how uncomfortable, we must confront this. I can't imagine what drove a teacher to make comments online that were hateful and bigoted, slanderous and vilifying, anti-Christian and misandrous. Now, we're all left.
And all that is true. That's from the Black Westboro guys. So here we go. Keep going.
Picking up the pieces that she broke. Every major employer in today's digital world must establish online policies that are clear. They should follow best practices to certify that employees understand them, and they should be enforceable. As the board considers item 4D, we now see the district's social media policies are ineffective. Ms. Grisham violated most of the provisions in the policy.
Excuse me, President.
It's
Ray, I have a
obviously
point of
weak
order.
and lacks
Mr. Johnson.
accountability.
Point
It
of
must
order.
be changed. In addition to 4D, in
Mr.
addition to item
Johnson,
4D,
if I could interrupt you for just a second.
It does not include
We've
the
been
board
very
members.
explicit about no names
to
being mentioned in our board meeting. So at this point, you are out of order and would ask that you cease your comment given that you violated the
Fascinating. So they asked to not use any names. Now, the only name they use is the teacher in question. But so apparently he's going to get kicked out for this. So let's see this real quick.
expectation that no names be mentioned in a slanderous way. Again, I'm going to ask you one more time, Mr. Johnson, to step away from the podium. And
So they're kicking him out for using the name instead of letting him continue not to use the name anymore. It's a little that horse is out of the barn, people.
tell you that you are out of order at this time. No one can hear you as you speak because your microphone is no longer inoperable. If you would please escort Mr. Johnson away from the podium from my request because of his violation with our policy that states that you cannot speak to a personnel issue, specifically name a specific person during this kind of forum. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Darian Wilson is next.
Okay, so hey Tarkata, good to see you, man. All right, so then a local TV anchor quickly produced video from another DCSD meeting in which the speaker also appeared to violate the policy in question, but was allowed to keep speaking. So in another case, they did let him do it. This is Kyle Clark, who's a local reporter. I understand the political supporters of the school board will say this was Douglas County Schools policy being strictly enforced, which bans criticizing people by name during a public comment. So about that, I pulled a video up at the last board meeting where this woman waved signs criticizing specific people. She was reminded of the rule but permitted to stay. She then turned and lit into someone in the audience by name, apparently a staff member. She was allowed to finish. So yeah, policies for me, but not for thee, or whatever I'm trying to say there. You know what I'm trying to say there. I promise not to get animated today. I am not going to lose my brain. I'm not going to have an aneurysm. So, anyway, made a little mistake there. Let's fix that. Let's get this back on so I'm transitioned correctly. All right, so that's a little more fucketry. Of course, what is date of this? The 27th, so this article came out yesterday. I think the school board meeting when was this? Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Just more fucketry. It's just insanity. All right, well, let's go away from this for a little bit and just check out what is trending on Twitter. And for some reason, the number one trending thing in the USA is Anthony Davis. Interesting. Sarah can't use an adult's name, but totally fine to dox a 16-year-old that had nothing to do with anything. Right on. You know me. You know where I'm at on this, Sarah. You've been here every day, and all I've done is rant about this. So yes, exactly. So Anthony Davis is the number one thing trending on Twitter today. All NBA forward Anthony Davis has no intention of signing a contract extension as requested trade for the New Orleans Pelicans, his agent said. All right. Well, that's, that must be a big deal if it's the number one trending thing on Twitter. I enjoy NBA basketball. Don't forget, I am a basketball coach and I love basketball, but I guess that's a big deal. Of course, there's probably plenty of people who would love to have Anthony Davis come to their city. He's a dominant player in the NBA. Money motivation? Nope. Make mom happy in 3 words. Should we go through some of this? You know what? There's too much of a lag. I'm going to go through some of it. Let's see what this says here. Make mom happy in 3 words. Call her up. Yep, that's the best thing. I try to call my mom at least once a week. Sometimes more than that. She's in her 90, or she's going to be 90 this year. Gosh, we're going to have a 90th birthday for my mother. A 90th birthday party. It's going to be a big deal. Me and my nephew are putting it together. So don't talk back. Make mom happy in 3 words. Hey, you know who followed that rule? Nick Sandman. He followed that rule. He didn't talk back to Nathan Phillips, aka Chief Lying Fire Pants. Hey Camel, the question here, are you sure you don't want an aneurysm? I could send you a link. No, well, send me the link, but I'm still going to remain calm today. I'm feeling the reparation coffee is doing wonders. All right, do the dishes. Okay, that's cute. There's probably a lot of cute ones on this. I wonder if there's any really zingy ones. Make mom happy in 3 words by being quiet. Make mom happy, let her sleep. Make mom happy, I moved out. Yeah. And make mom happy. Here, more wine. Clean my room, appreciate her support, clean your room, take out the trash. Okay, all this really big. Take a bath. Does that make mom happy? Although the mouse is cute. Look at that mouse. Isn't that cute? All right. Johnny Hellcat. What's up, brother? Good to see you. All right. Take her gambling. Yeah, my mom doesn't do that, but man, my grandmother loved to go. My grandmother lived in Marshalltown, Iowa. And there's a place called Muskogee or it's some casino, and she loved going there and just doing nickel slots and stuff like that. It was pretty funny. Oh, yeah, I'm not grouchy gamer. What the hell are you talking about there? How to make mom sad in 3 words. Oh, got sis pregnant. That's terrible. All right, Chad, here's one for you. Let's come up with your best make mom sad in 3 words while we're playing this game. That's a good game. So I'll read a few of them as we go along, but I'm going to go find another place here. Oh my gosh. Oh, you got to be kidding me. Oh, I never did. I never hit the little button to show you what I was showing them. All right, let's look. What else is trending on Twitter today? Monday morning. You know, I think Twitter should, they manipulate these things that are trending. And yet every morning when you go into the trending, Monday motivation, Tuesday motivation, every day, Monday morning, nobody cares. Who? Monday morning. Let's see. What are people tweeting about Monday morning? People are just. Oh, here's an interesting one. Okay. So maybe sometimes this could be interesting. Pastor innocent of Army Power Ministry in Benin's Edo State, that's in Nigeria, is publicly disgraced after he is caught with a member's wife. Monday morning. Let's see. This might be humorous. Let's see.
Talk. Let me talk. I happen. Yes. Everything. What did be true? Why did it happen? Yes. I won't talk. I get you. I happen.
We interrupt this Twitter video to say good morning to Maniac Man. Good morning.
Give me the bottle. But did they
Okay, so for you guys, let's see. Oh, there's a good one. 3 words to make. And if you just came here, Maniac Man, I guess that'd be you. 3 things that make 3 words to make mom sad. Zero the Heroes come with a couple good ones. Crash the car. I'm dead broke. Keep them coming. Let's go. Now, this video of this pastor in Nigeria, the only reason it interests me is because, if you didn't know, my birth father, my natural father, is from Nigeria, and I just laugh at if you listen to this conversation, that's what the conversation sounds like to me whenever I go to a family gathering on my Nigerian side. It's just half in English, half in Igbo, and they talk so fast I don't necessarily always understand, but it's still, I love being with my family, so it doesn't matter. We're gonna skip the Monday ones. This is kind of dull. I don't care. Let's see if there's anything good. Let's see if there's any news that's trending on Twitter that we're going to be talking about for the rest of the day. Monday mood, here they go again. Twitter can fix this. So I got Monday motivation in the top 10. Monday motivation's 1. Monday morning, Monday mood, Monday thought. That's stupid. 3. College dropout. Oh my gosh. Okay, so Ja Rule. Is that Ja Rule? No, Ja Rule's is Ja Rule a rapper? I think so. I was getting it mixed with Ja Rule. Ja Rule Holly. What the fuck? Huh? What? Oh, I see. Yeah, there's hearing from sources, if the Lakers want Anthony Davis, who has just requested a trade, LA has to start the deal with Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Ivica Zubac, and a number 1 pick. That'd be quite the trade. All right, I'm gonna check here. Johnny Hellcat sent me something that is probably going to cause me to have an aneurysm, he says. All right, let's find out what it is. I'm taking a chance. I'm going to go in cold, and here we go. It looks like it's an article from the Federalist, and and I'm gonna, before I even show you the title, look at this very nice picture of Chief Lying Fire Pants. Okay, looks very nice. I'm afraid to scroll. I'm afraid to scroll. Somebody else sent me something too. Oh, Camel sent me something too. Who sent me this? Oh, no, this is you. I'm sorry. Hey, Camel. Camel sent me this. So my bad. All right. Let's scroll slowly. Whoop. Government records say. No, you didn't say it, Johnny Hellcat. Hate Camel did. That's my mistake. Phillips' nonprofit is not in good standing, but he's still taking donations. Oh, the hits just keep on coming. This is not going to give me an aneurysm. I don't know why you thought that, but it's not going to give me an aneurysm. But let's find out what our lovely friend Nathan Phillips is up to. What is Native Youth Alliance? Where was it incorporated? Who is the current director? Who has access to the PayPal account? And for what will the funds be used? Last week, the press proved itself once again a purveyor of fake news when it unquestionably ran with Nathan Phillips' portrayal of a group of high school boys from Covington Catholic as MAGA mob mocking his Native American ancestry. Apologies to the teens quickly followed when videos surfaced disproving Phillips' claim that the students had surrounded him and chanted "Build the Wall," while smirking frontman Nick Sandman blocked his way. Even as Phillips' accusations fell apart, the media sidestepped these glaring inaccuracies and provided the Ypsilanti, Michigan man a sympathetic forum in which he could air his grievances. And he's been all over the place. I do want to go through a Democracy Now! Interview, and that is another one where he just lies his ass off. After some pushback, the press began reporting on some of the inconsistencies surrounding Phillips' story. More significant questions remained unasked, though, especially concerning the Native Youth Alliance. More significant questions remained unasked, though, especially concerning the Native Youth Alliance, the purported nonprofit Phillips started. To date, the media has only made a passing reference to the Native Youth Alliance. Well, they've also only made a passing reference to the Black Westboro, the Black Hebrew Israelites. Although there's hope today. I will show you in a moment. The New York Times noted that Phillips was the former director of the Native Youth Alliance, a group that works to ensure that traditional culture and spiritual ways are upheld for future generations. Now, that's interesting, too, because if you know Phillips' story, Phillips was adopted when he was 5 years old, grew up in a white family. I think just before he went in, or just after he got out of the Marines, he met one of his natural brothers. Now, I don't know if this was a situation where Phillips was taken away from his family by some agency, and that very well could be, and that sucks because I don't think that should have happened. But he didn't. He grew up in this You know, he grew up in a white family. Then he found his brother, and his brother began teaching him some of the Native American traditions and songs and things like that. So he started this alliance to, as it says, ensure that traditional culture and spiritual ways are upheld for future generations. Okay, so going on. What else? What little else is known about the Native American or Native Youth Alliance comes from social media and a blog. A Facebook page for the Native Youth Alliance states that it was founded in 1990, a religious organization, and has been incorporated as a nonprofit since 1993. The blog linked on the Native Youth Alliance Facebook page includes the same language. Both the Facebook page and the blog list Native Youth Alliance. Okay, I don't need to skip their email out. By the way, I'm going to remind you, anyone I talk about on my live streams or in my videos, I ask that you do not harass or whatever. Don't do any stuff that can get back to me, basically. If you want to have civil arguments with people about this issue or whatever, that's great, but please don't harass people. I'm going to make that disclaimer every once in a while. I know you won't. I know that you're great people that so far, so we'll just go with that. So then they show the a little bit of the information on the on how they filed. However, search of Michigan's corporate records for Native Youth Alliance came up empty, while a search of Washington, D.C.'s corporate records revealed that the Native Youth Alliance was registered as a nonprofit on January 30th, 2002, and listed Phillips' then-partner, Shoshana Constant, as the registered agent. However, since then, D.C. regulars have revoked the Native Youth Alliance nonprofit status. Maryland records also show Constant as the registered agent for a religious nonprofit named Native Youth Alliance that was formed in 1993, but is no longer in good standing. So this is the information they got there. That's the information they got there. Hey, hello, Nits, Nuts. They keep calling. I know they call you Nuts. I always call you Stargazer, but because you're a star, I'd rather put the star part in there. Good morning. Let's see here. So, no other corporate reports or details were available for either Maryland or the D.C.-based Native Youth Alliance, and the Maryland records state that no annual reports were filed for the Native Youth Alliance in the past 5 years, which is a requirement. They're supposed to, if you do a nonprofit, I've owned a nonprofit or worked at a nonprofit, and you have to do annual reports. And you have to do annual financial records, and then you also have to do the tax thing with it too. So, all right, so that's, anyway. And then a search for the Internal Revenue Service charity database had no matches for Native Youth Alliance. So apparently there's issues here. Now, this is, what is this? Native Youth Alliance. Okay, so this is, but then this is their little donation page. Look at, make a donation to the Native Youth Alliance. It has come to our attention that there are people who want to help us in our efforts. We have also heard that there are others who have collected donations for us and kept it for themselves. Therefore, Native Youth Alliance is authorizing only our fiscal sponsor, the Washington Peace Center, to accept donations to support our work. NYA sincerely thanks the Washington Peace Center for supporting our efforts since 1993. Though Native Youth Alliance will be accountable for all our funding, the Peace Center has agreed to accept responsibility of fiscal sponsor for those who need a tax deduction. You can use this button to make a PayPal donation to Native Youth Alliance through the Washington Peace Center. We are posting this PayPal button to make it easier for you to help us. You may also mail checks to us at our P.O. Box. We thank you, all those who supported. So they have this page up there, and the Odyssey appears on the blog where it states, make donations to Native Youth Alliance. It has come to our attention. So that's what I just read. So, yeah, so that's a discrepancy. Now, what else here? Unlike the Native Youth Alliance, the Washington Peace Centers appears in both GuideStar and the IRS charity search. So they are there. They are taking donations for this thing. Unfortunately, according to the voicemail greeting for the Washington Peace Center, the nonprofit is undergoing a reorganization and is not currently monitoring its telephone. An email inquiry to the Peace Center's relationship with the Native Youth Alliance also went unanswered, as did a request for the comment to the Peace Center's former director. So all these little discrepancies. Now, here's the rub. Here we find another anomaly. The P.O. Box provided for the Native Youth Alliance is also used by the Heritage of Healing, a Michigan nonprofit created in 2012 by Phillips' late wife, Shoshana Beth Phillips. This fact indicates that Phillips' family controls access to the Native Youth Alliance P.O. Box. Fantastic. So, here's the issue. Further discovering this, the fact that after telling supporters that is authorizing only the Washington Peace Center to accept donation, the blog includes a second section entitled Want to Donate to Our Cause. Here the blog includes a second PayPal link that goes directly to the Native Youth Alliance using the Native Youth Alliance at gmail.com email. And apparently Nathan Phillips controls that email. And when the email address is entered, Nathan Phillips automatically appears in the to field. So he's taking donations still. After Phillips' story encounter with the Covenant Catholic Boys overtook the news cycle, the Native Youth Alliance gmail.com email address connected to a PayPal account started circulating with requests for donations. So that is... oh my gosh. So he started... So they've been sending out asking for donations. So he's been asking for donations under this email address that is directly controlled by him. Philip's daughter posted a note on Facebook thanking those who supported her father and added, if you would like to support Native Youth Alliance donations, Native Youth Alliance donations can be sent via PayPal at the address that he controls. Here's her. Oh my goodness. Did they do this twice down here? I'm going to read this. Thank you everyone for reaching out and supporting my dad, Nathan Phillips, this weekend. If anyone has resources or connections for news and media, political or organizational, that would be interested, please contact me or my dad directly. So he's out there fishing for interviews. And I thought for sure, I'm shocked that there isn't a GoFundMe account that somebody's put up for these guys. I mean, this cracks me up. Or contact me at blah, blah, my email address. I can't express how incredibly proud I am of my dad for speaking out against hate speech and injustice with indigenous communities. Yes, those boys were definitely purveyors of hate speech and injustice. Whatever. This recent event is one of many that my dad has faced over his lifetime of commitment to traditional values and the indigenous rights movement and going AWOL in the Marine Corps. That doesn't say that. This is an opportunity to raise awareness of the injustice that indigenous people are facing. Yeah, the message is clear. Our prayer songs are louder than hate speech. If you'd like to get involved and get organized, please contact me. If you'd like to support Native Youth Alliance, donation could be sent to my father at this email address. It doesn't say that, but that's what basically it is. Oh my gosh. And then also here on then they put it on the Native Youth Leadership Alliance, which is a search of GuideStar and the IRS charity database confirms is a legitimate nonprofit based out of South Dakota, also promoted Phillips' similarly named Native Youth Alliance. So it's a close name, but oh my God. The NYLA shared with readers the PayPal information for Phillips with this note. The elder is the former director of the Native Youth Alliance, and contributions can be sent to PayPal link. Any donations NYLA receives on mistake will be sent to the National Youth Alliance. So they put this up here. This is the other place. So this place is called the Native Youth Leadership Alliance, and Phillips' place is called the Native Youth Alliance. In the Native Youth Leadership Alliance, this is where they put his PayPal, Nathan Phillips. So they're raising money off of this photo, the so-called smirk photo. God, this is just disgusting. This is so bad. A San Francisco coffee shop also joined shop also joined the efforts, pledging to match 100% of the store's revenues to donate to Native Youth Alliance. That would be the one that is Nathan Phillips. But what is Native Youth Alliance? Where is it incorporated? Who is the current director? Who has access to the PayPal account? And for what will... Sorry, I did one of those. For what will the funds be used? Calls and emails to Native Youth Alliance went unanswered. Meanwhile, Phillips continues to speak with the press. However, given the terminal lack of curiosity displayed to date by the media, it is unlikely we will receive answers to these questions anytime soon. Wow. So, what's the word for that? There's a word for, I don't know if grifter is the word. Maybe. I don't know. That's crazy. Let's see. Let's go. Let's check a little. Let me see what you're saying here in the chat, because I haven't looked for a second. Johnny Hellcat, if you're not white or a Trump supporter, that's apparently a start. Oh, okay. I don't know what he was answering there. Nathan Phillips lies every time he opens his mouth. Through all 4 teeth. Yeah. You know what? I'm done making fun of his teeth. I try not to be that way. And in fact, because the first day I started talking about this, I said something about him getting up, getting dressed, brushing his teeth, which doesn't take long. And I felt bad. I felt guilty because I just, you know what? I try not to make fun of people's appearances unless their life is about their appearance, and I think it's silly, but that's okay. Okay, apparently all of their problems, alcoholism and domestic violence, are the white man's fault. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about that. So, yeah, that article just pisses me off. There's a whole bunch that I'm just going, what the hell? Oh, man. All right, so let's get back to Twitter trends. Were there anything else good in here? I didn't even look. Rolling Loud. What does that mean? It has to be something about motorcycles. No, this is Rolling Loud is that's a. Oh my gosh, this is a concert series. Here, I'm just going to show you who's in this one. So this is a concert in Miami. May 10th through 12th. It's a music festival. So Friday featuring Migos. They're going to have Cardi B, Ray's, I don't know who that is, Rick Ross. Oh, there we go. YG, Juice WRLD, Lil Yachty, Trippie Redd, Rich the Kid, and then a bunch of people you'd never heard of. Waka Flocka. Heard of Waka Flocka? I have a son who listens to that. Okay, so that first day, and then there's like 30 artists down here. Then the second day features Travis Scott. Travis Scott is performing at the Super Bowl. Oh, 3 words to make your mom sad. By the way, let's go through this. Let's see if I see any more in here. There were a couple funny ones, I thought. Oh, yeah, Zero back. I'm going back here. So basically, this Youth Alliance thing is a give me money campaign. Sure is, isn't it? In fact, those 3 words are also something that can make your mom sad. Give me money. Anyway. Okay, we forgot about that. 3 words. Became a musician. Yeah, really. So anyway, the second day of this festival, Travis Scott, who is performing at the Super Bowl, Lil Wayne, 21 Savage, Kodak Black. I like Kodak Black. I just heard something. Oh, no, I'm thinking of someone else. Anyway, Young Thug, Lil Baby, Gunna, Sheik Wes, Soulja Boy. Soulja Boy, the purveyor of video gaming systems that are cheap knockoffs. Chief Keef, Lil Mosey, Saweetie Blueface. This is a big festival. As I look at the third day, Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi hasn't been around for a while, man. I don't know what. Lil Pump, Lil Uzi Vert, Playboy Cardi, Gucci Mane, Tyga, Kevin Gates, Lil Skies, DMX. X gonna give it to you. Yeah, whatever. No, Soulja. Yeah, see, is Soulja Boy still relevant as a question mark? No, he's not. He had his one little Superman something hit, and that was it. I don't even, I don't follow music that tightly anymore, but there are names on here that have plenty of recognition. I'm gonna watch this date, May 10th through 12th, and as this It's at Miami Gardens Hard Rock Stadium. So apparently the Hard Rock Cafe has a huge like musical venue there. I'm gonna watch this date, and I don't want to be negative, but my feeling is that something's gonna happen at this concert that is not kosher. There's gonna be something having to do with fights and police. Just my thought. I never did there. I never put that on the screen either. See, you got to remind me when I don't put stuff on the screen, people. Just say, hey, put it on the screen. So this is the, I don't know if I can enlarge this at all though. There's no little button to make it bigger. I can't, that's back to the tweet. All right. So anyway, that's, what was the trending that I had to click that? Oh, Rolling Loud. Yeah, people are talking about the Rolling Loud concert and Bible literacy and J-Rue. Bible literacy. I wish I was more Bible literacy. Wait, oh no. Oh no. Remember the other day when I said, I wish somebody would take the president's phone and do a Hillary Clinton with it, smash it with a hammer? The last thing Donald Trump needs to talk about is Bible literacy. Whether you like him or not, stop tweeting. Okay, here's the tweet that set off this being a trending topic. Wait. Excuse me again. Numerous states introducing Bible literacy classes, giving students the option of studying the Bible. I think I'm allergic to this tweet. Thank you. Starting to make a turn back. What does that mean? You know what? I suppose if it's optional because I'm definitely allergic to this tweet. I suppose if it's optional, I'm sure I guarantee you that there are classes somewhere in schools that allow you to study the Quran. Okay, so fine. Bible literacy classes. If it's completely and totally optional as part of a general religion class, and I just don't. Please, parents, you raise your kids, you take them to church, and you learn about the Bible there. I don't even want the possibility of some teacher interpreting the Bible for kids. And I'm not the most religious person in the world, but I'm sorry. I don't want the public schools. I don't want any schools doing that. Let parents deal. There's a lot of things I'd rather have parents teach their kids than I would have the schools teach their kids. So I'm going to end that. But anyway, so there's a whole bunch of people in here. The Hill, every article of The Hill is anti-Trump. Trump praises states for considering Bible literacy classes in public school. They, you know what? The Hill loves to report on people's tweets, especially the president's. But I think The Hill lately has been just, we're going to scour Twitter and see how many things where you can report. That's journalism to us. Let's see. Bible literacy classes in public schools clearly violate the First Amendment, which seeks to ensure the government does not support or establish a national religion. Elective classes that discuss all the world's religions as well as atheism would be more acceptable an option. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. But you know, there's classes where I know there's also places where said, oh, you should, you know, they're introducing studying the Quran as a different cultural thing. So I'm fine with that as a general religion class, but I just don't let parents, that's your job. That's your job. If you want your kids to understand the Bible, you need to find a way to do that outside of the schools. I don't want some, you know, I don't want some feminist, you know, I shouldn't say, I don't dislike feminists. I just think they're overboard. I think you know what I'm saying. I don't want the schools dealing with this. I'd rather if I'm a parent and I am very religious, I want to teach the Bible the way I want to teach it, and I want my, priest, pastor, deacon, or whoever teaches the Bible to them that way. So, did somebody just pop in here? Hey, good morning, Alan Sawyer. Welcome. Haven't seen you in a few days, but then again, I haven't been streaming for a few days because I only go Monday through Friday. Oh, by the way, I did not do a weekend stream this week. Just got a little busy. So, and again, those are going to be occasional. So you just kind of have to, if you see me tweet it out or if you see a notification, then you will know that I'm tweeting on the weekend. But I will be here Monday through Friday at roughly 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. And as you know, most of you have been here quite often, and I really, really appreciate all of you, for especially I've got a group here that's here on a regular, and I love it. Thank you so much for being here. All right, let's get off of Monday trends, and I got one more article here that I want to go through that I thought was pertinent. Hopefully, I remembered to. I think I did it under my tweets, and that gave me a glimmer of hope. There's an article that gave me a glimmer of hope, and I'm still talking. The more people say stupid shit about these Covenant kids, the more I find myself having to go and say, I'm going to talk about it, because it's, like I said, I don't want to be Joy Sparkles and run it into the ground, but boy, there's stupid stuff every day. Still planning on making that video. There we go. Here we go. Gosh, I hate this new Twitter because it makes it hard for me to figure out what I'm doing. All right, let's go. Where did it go? Lots of people. Oh, by the way, maybe I'll play this Gillette parody ad too. It's pretty good. But oh shoot, I'm gonna have to do a search here. My apologies, people. I hate to do this while I'm sitting here talking to you, but let's see. Finds Andrew Sullivan. Andrew Sullivan wrote a great article regarding this that finally started talking about Black Westboro. And that has annoyed me from the beginning, that Black Westboro has not been, that hasn't really been talked about. And so he wrote an article. Let's see, where do you have that? This is in New York Magazine. And so Andrew Sullivan used to be a blogger. He's a gay conservative man. Not that either of those titles matter, but he's also very anti-Trump, which is fine. That's his prerogative. I don't agree with him on everything he says about Trump, but he did write a great article here, and I'm going to go through this a little bit. And this is from the Intelligencer. This is from basically New York Magazine, and he named it "The Abyss of Hate versus Hate." So let's just go through this one. One of the advantages of taking Saturdays off the web entirely is that I wasn't aware of the affair Covington, which is also my experience. I did not. That was a weekend that I was not on the web, and so I didn't start hearing about this till Monday morning. Did happen to see the first article about it that came out of the Washington Post. Saw an ABC News article, and then the next thing I saw after that was the full-length video, because I was like, there's something wrong with this. Is there a full-length video? And so then I went and saw the full-length video, and then I started seeing commentary, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. So you didn't hear about it till it was almost over. It's one of those occasions I am deeply glad I quit blogging 24/7 4 years ago and disengaged from Twitter last month. I'm not going to dunk on the multitudes who badly misjudged the moment in time. We're all fallible, but I did make time to watch the full 100 minutes of the YouTube footage that covered the scene in front of the Lincoln Memorial long before, during, and after the smirk that was seen across the world. The split-second time smirk. I got to remind people, I still argue with people on this almost every day. What I saw was extraordinary bigotry, threats of violence, hideous misogyny, disgusting racism, foul homophobia, and anti-Catholicism. Not by the demonized schoolboys, but the grown men, with a bullhorn, a small group of self-styled black Hebrew Israelites. They're a fringe sect, but an extremely aggressive one, known for inflammatory bigotry in public. The Southern Poverty Law Center has designated them as a hate group, strongly anti-white and anti-Semitic. They scream abuse at gays, women, white people, Jews, interracial couples, in the crudest of language. In their public display of bigotry, they are the same level as the Westboro Baptist sect. And that's why I call them... I have to cough just a second. Black Westboro. I don't know what that was. Let's go see. And it's too late. It didn't show up. I passed it. All right, I'm going back. All right. Where'd my article go? Here it is. Here it is. Where is it? There it is. All right. Shockingly obscene. They were the instigators of the entire affair. Absolutely right. And yet the elite media seemed eager to downplay their role, referring to them only in passing, noting briefly that they were known to be anti-Semitic and anti-gay. After several days, the New York Times ran a news analysis on the group by John Elgin. Now, I never saw that, but I gotta, maybe I'll go back and read that sometime. Check your stream links. Oh my gosh, I got a donation. My first, guess what? That is my first donation ever. Where from? I can't. Oh no! What the hell? How do I don't even know how to. I don't even know how to look for this. Oh damn. Well, I'm not even sure. Where do I look for these? Oh, my donations. Here we go. Excellent. Oh, thank you, Johnny Hellcat. That's awesome. And the message is, hey, look, money. And I can't think of anything to say. Oh, dude. You know what? I'm going to frame that. I'm going to somehow figure out how to frame that. That's my first. By the way, I do have a Streamlabs if you didn't notice. In fact, let's click the link. We'll put the link in there. Thank you so much, Johnny Hellcat. I really appreciate that. That's the first donation I've ever had on the YouTubes. Probably because I'm not, also I'm not monetized, so that's awesome. All right, thank you so much. All right, let me get back to this article. I'm coughing again. Okay, so after several days, the New York Times ran a news analysis on the group by John Elgin that reads like a press release from the sect. They shout, use blunt. Here's his quote. Now, this is crazy. They shout, use blunt and sometimes offensive language, and gamely engage in arguments aimed at drawing listeners near. Wow, that's such a gentle way to talk about them. He notes that, quote, they group people based on what they call nations, believing there are 12 tribes among God's chosen people. White people are not among those tribes, they believe, and they therefore will be servants when Christ returns to earth. End quote. Nothing to see here, folks. Just a bunch of people preaching the enslavement of another race in public, on speakers, in the most inflammatory language imaginable. Yeah, see, Andrew Sullivan gets it. Hi, Della Hayes. Nice to see you. I just see you. You must have just popped in. Yeah. Listen to that again. This is how this guy writes about them. This is like, how gentle language. They shout, use blunt and sometimes offensive language, and gamely engage in arguments aimed at drawing listeners near. They group people based on what they call nations, believing that there are 12 tribes among God's chosen people. White people are not among those tribes. Well, I'm safe, but I don't... whatever. Fuckers. All right. White people are not among those tribes, they believe, and will therefore be servants when Christ returns to earth. Yeah, that's such eloquent language. Elgin actually writes, whatever tensions are sparked by Hebrew Israelites' teaching, some adherents chalk that up to people being unwilling to accept uncomfortable doctrine. What the bloody hell are you talking about? They're jackasses. You know what? I guarantee this is not how they wrote about Black Westboro. Holy smokes. Let me see. What was that? And, oh my God. Wow. That's, holy smokes. Someone else threw it. What is this? Oh wait, what's this? Oh no, wait. Somebody threw in. Hey, Jaeger Pony, that's awesome. Thank you so much. $15 to commemorate your first donation. Have a second donation. Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. I don't even see you in the chat, but I really appreciate. I know there's people who would like to lurk, and that's fine. I'm happy to lurk, but thank you, Jaeger Pony. That's awesome. Back to the article here, real quick. Oh, I can't answer this. Why is my phone ringing? No one calls me in the morning. Who the hell's calling me in the morning? Okay, so my daughter has to say. Okay, that was my daughter. So holy smokes. The Washington Post ran a style section headline about, quote, the calculated art of making people uncomfortable, end quote. In a news story entirely about the Black Israelites, the Washington Post did not quote a single thing they said on the tape, gave a respectful account of their theology, and only mentioned their status as a hate group in the 24th paragraph, which nobody reads. Nobody gets. If you get to the 24th paragraph in a Washington Post article, you are dedicated. You are dedicated. I'm just saying. Nobody reads the Washington Post. And put the term in hate group, put the quote in scare quotes. Vox managed to write an explainer that also did not include a single example of any of the actual insults hurled at the Covington kids. That's amazing. And in fact, it's funny because even the news reports on TV that did happen to show them tended to leave out the most inflammatory stuff. I mean, the stuff, especially when they were starting to talk about quote faggots and quote homosexuals and shit like that. They didn't even put those on TV. There was way worse stuff earlier too when they were berating the indigenous people who were having their prayer circle. It was crazy. Countless near treatises were written, parsing the layers of bigotry inside a silent schoolboy's smirk. Yeah, so everyone could interpret what that smile meant, and the MAGA hat being racist, and the smirk was this guy's, entrenched white privilege and toxic masculinity, all interpreted from someone doing this. Goofy smile because he didn't know what the hell to do. And yet, these guys were saying very specific things that nobody seemed to want to talk about. Here's back to the article. Here's what I saw in the full tape. A small group of aggressive, hateful men using a bullhorn to broadcast the crudest of racial slurs backed up by recitations of Bible verses. I saw a young Native American woman make the mistake of engaging them. When she stood her ground, she was suddenly interrupted. You're out of order. Where's your husband? Where's your husband? Let me speak to him. On the tape, you can hear the commentary from another member of the Black Israelites. You see this? This is the problem, Israel. It's always our women coming up with their loud mouth, thinking they can run and bogart things, thinking they can come and distract things with their loud-ass mouth because they're not used to dealing with real men. You think we're supposed to bow down to your damn emotions when you come around here and you run your mouth and distract what we're doing instead of coming here with order? She's coming here being wicked. End quote. Wow. Anyway, I watched the whole thing. Wait, there's more. Hollering through a bullhorn at a group of Native Americans, the speaker boomed. You ain't no child of God. You're an Indian. You're a blue-eyed demon. That's the last Mohican, then. You're still worshiping totem poles. You're out of your mind. You have to repent. You worship the buffalo. You worship the eagle. You worship the phoenix. These are idols you've been worshiping. A damn buffalo ain't going to save you. You worship the creation and not the creator. That's why you're drunkards in the casinos and the damn plantation. Another. Dumbass N-words. Bunch of demons. You're a bunch of Uncle Tomahawks. They snarled the word savages at the Native Americans. The yelling was deafening, aggressive, violent, threatening, but an unscrutable smile by a white team was enough for some elite liberals to urge punching a schoolboy in the face. Yeah, all that shit they said, but oh no, that smirk. That's photograph of a smirk. Moving on. Here's how the Black Israelites verbally assaulted the schoolboys. Bring your cracker ass up here, dirty ass crackers. Your day is coming. We can give a hell about your police. No one's playing with these dusty ass crackers. Don't get too close. Your ass is going to get punished. Yeah, they were threatening if you came near him. He was talking to a guy on a skateboard at that point. You crackers are some slithery-ass bastards. You better keep your distance. And this, surveying the scene, I see you, bunch of incest babies. Babies made out of incest. If you're the great damnation, get rid of the lice on your back. You're a bunch of hyenas. You outnumber us, but keep your distance. You can't touch us if you wanted to. You worship blasphemy. Then they took it up a notch. I like how Sullivan writes this. Then they took it up a notch. After all that, then they took it up a notch. Look at these dirty-ass crackers. You're a bunch of future school shooters. You crackers are crazy. You crackers have some damn nerve. And again, when are you guys going to shoot up another school? You all going to shoot up a school. Yes, the man was accusing a bunch of schoolboys from Kentucky of wanting to murder their classmates solely because they're white. Oh, white. You're a white male. Urgh. Once the Israelites figured out the kids were Catholic, they offered this about what appeared to be a picture of the Pope. This is a faggot child molester. And this about Donald Trump. He's a product of sodomy, and he's proud. Your president is a homosexual. It says on the back of the dollar bill, "In God we trust," and you give faggots rights. And that homophobic outburst, the kids from the Catholic school spontaneously booed. Wow, I thought these were white males. Wait, these are white males. They're not supposed to boo a homophobic outburst. Something's wrong here. Let me read that again. And, at that homophobic outburst, the kids from the Catholic school spontaneously booed. That's the first time I've read that. Has anyone in the chat, if you've heard this before, type 1. If you have not heard this, and I'm talking about media accounts. If you have not heard this before, type 2. I'll go on and see what my poll results are. The boys, stuck waiting for a bus, decided to respond to this assault by performing school chants. Wait, you've heard this before, Pete? Did you type the wrong number there? If you've heard it before that they spontaneously booed, type 1. If you haven't, type 2. Because anyone in the press giving the boys credit for that? Okay, maybe you can show me where, Pete. Send me a link. So the boys, stuck waiting for a bus, decided to respond to this assault by performing school chants. Most looked a little bewildered, as one might imagine. Some even tried to engage. Here are the spoken words I heard in the response to the abuse. That's racist, bro. That's rude. Why are you being mean? Why do you call us clanmates? We don't judge you. One of them offered to shake hands and was rebuffed. Another offered some water from a plastic bottle. The response? You got some Trump water? What does it taste like? Incest? Yeah, right. All right. Yes, the boys did chant some school riffs. I'm sure some of those joining in the Native American drumming and chanting were doing it partly in mockery, but others may just have been rolling with it. Yes, they should not have been wearing MAGA hats, which I disagree. They should not have been wearing MAGA hats to a pro-life march. Well, and my understanding is they weren't wearing MAGA hats to a pro-life march. My understanding is that the people who had the MAGA hats bought them after the march from a street vendor. They weren't wearing them during the march. They weren't wearing them as representatives of the school. And the hats aren't representative of the school. The hats are representative of the individual wearing them. But I digress. They aren't angels, they are teenage boys, but they were also subjected for quite a while to a racist, anti-Catholic, homophobic tirade on a loudspeaker, which would be more than most of us urbanites could bear. And their adolescents, literally off the bus from Kentucky. I heard no slurs back, true. They stayed there because they were waiting for a bus, not to intimidate anyone. And in every video you can see, they are very far, they kept their distance from these guys, even though the guys are yelling at them. To put it bluntly, they were 16-year-olds subjected to a verbal racist assault by grown men, and then the kids were accused of being bigots. It's just beggars belief that's the same liberals who fret about microaggressions for 20-somethings were able to see a 16-year-old's see 16-year-olds absorbing the worst racial garbage from religious bigots and then express the desire to punch the kids in the face. I love that line. That's a great line. I'm going to read it one more time. It's just beggars belief that the same liberals who fret about microaggressions for 20-somethings were able to see 16-year-olds absorbing the worst racist garbage from religious bigots and then express the desire to punch those kids in the face. Straight up. Just from Pete here, not sure if it was a mass media or commentator. The article he was reading also said that the Black Westboro were attacking their black friend. They embraced their black. No, that absolutely. But what I'm saying is this is the first time I've really heard anyone say, what was it? That these kids were, I don't know, they never gave the kids credit for, for what the things they said back to, all I've heard is it's the smirk of privilege, the smirk of white supremacy, the smirk of this. And these guys are defending or saying that it's not cool to call somebody faggot and things like that, or call them names, whatever. So and people weren't really given credit for that. It's just the people who were jumping on this bandwagon from the beginning, who said that these are awful kids, berating this Native American. That's what kind of I'm talking about. Anyway, but that's cool. I'm sure that it's been in there somewhere. How did this grotesque inversion of the truth become the central narrative for what seems to be the entire class of elite journalists on Twitter? That's the somewhat terrifying question. Ruth Graham on Slate saw a 16-year-old she'd seen on a tape for a couple of minutes and immediately knew that he was indistinguishable from the white young men crowding a single black man at a lunch counter sit-in in Virginia in the 1960s. That was one of the most disgusting things I'd ever seen, too. Juxtaposing that kid smiling at Nathan Phillips to that scene from the 1960s at a lunch counter. Just fucking assholes put that shit up. Or other white high school boys flashing Nazi salutes. Even after the full context was clear, Graham refused to apologize to the kid or retract her condemnation. The context didn't change the larger stories, quote unquote, which she explained was bigotry towards Native Americans. No, it was not. She cited Trump's use of the name Pocahontas. That kid is not Trump, for Elizabeth Warren as evidence. But using a bullhorn to call Native Americans savages and drunkards at the casino in their faces a few minutes earlier on the same tape was not worth a mention. Because she's, you know what? Here's why. And I'll tell you why none of these white liberal reporters mentioned it. One, they're afraid of black people. Two, they're afraid of black people. They weren't going to take a chance on angering black people, because black people will drag them on Twitter way more than anyone supporting these kids will. Sorry, it's the truth. I know. Graham was just one media voice among countless others, and I don't mean to single her out. Yeah, well, she needs to be, because she was one. I remember seeing her crap. The reason I do is because her argument about the fuller context is now the norm in elite media, and it's the underlying reason for the instant judgment. Racism, quote unquote, now only means prejudice plus power, which, whatever, I don't agree with that. So what the adult black Israelites yelled was nowhere near as bad as what the white teenager didn't say. They didn't say anything. Oh, cool, Johnny. All right, cool. No empirical evidence could ever deny the underlying truth, as a piece at Deadspin insisted after admitting that, well, yes, there were 4 black men who seemed to belong to the black Israelites yelling insults. No mention of the content of those insults on Deadspin. So Deadspin wrote an article, didn't even mention what the content. It's just, oh, there were 4 black men yelling at him. And in the original story, it was 4 African Americans teaching about the Bible and oppression. Yeah, whatever. Across most national media, led by the New York Times and the Washington Post, the narrative had been set. I'm willing to bet that 50 years from now, a defining image of this political era will be that smug white magazine disrespecting of a Native American elder and veteran. Yeah, this is going to be, and it's never going to be put in the correct context. That's going to be one of those things you're going to see forever. The kid's screwed in some ways, but I have hope for the kid after listening to him. Yeah, he had help from a PR firm to write a statement. Yes, they helped him formulate what he was going to say when he went on the interview, but he still held his composure, did the interview, didn't allow her to make him out to be the bad guy. And, you know, the kid did okay. So I'm not, these people. It just captures so much. Jessica Valenti. Yeah, everyone loves her. Let's see if they must have put a copy. Let's see if she even still has this tweet up. Yeah, she put, I'm willing to bet 50 years from now, a defining image of this political era will be that smug white MAGA kid teen disrespecting a Native elder and veteran. It just captures so much. Now this is from the 19th. So this is like from the days I want to go. I'm going to leave that up there because I want to go through her little stupid thread here. This is the orthodoxy of the elite media, and increasingly the job of journalists is to fit the facts to the narrative to avoid any facts that undermine it, which is the truth. Though there's a reason why. In the crucial battle for legitimacy of a free press, Trump is still on the offensive. Yeah, well, in some ways, as much as I hate his Twitter account, sometimes he has to, because they're not going to tell the truth. They just aren't. Our mainstream press has been poisoned by tribalism. My own trust in it is eroding. I'm far from the only one. Yeah, that's the truth. So he's talking about having a drink with a friend. I'll just continue. The other night I was having a drink with a friend who said he believed that the Trump threat was essentially over as the shutdown took its toll. He noted that what might become an inflection point in the polling, he was heartened by the midterms. He might be right, but I think that he misses the core point about this presidency. From my perspective, the Trump threat to liberal democracy is deepening largely because its racial animus and rank tribalism are evoking a response that is increasingly imbued with racial animus and rank tribalism in an ever-tightening spiral of mutual hostility. Yeah, that racial animus and rank tribalism started when he was running for president, and people were going out and attacking his supporters, waiting to get into rallies and things like that. Remember that? Oh, the red MAGA hat is the new white hood, tweeted Alyssa Milano in his debut Times column. Jamel Bowie describes a border wall thus: you can almost think of the wall as a modern-day Confederate monument, akin to those erecting during similar but far more virulent period of racist aggression in the first decades of the 20th century. Charles Blow, yeah, his name's appropriate. Charles Blow insists we have to stop thinking of this symbology of Trump's presidency, the MAGA hats, the walls, etc., as merely physical objects. They have long since lost their original meaning and purpose. They are now emblems. They are now the new iconography of white supremacy. So that hat and the wall are white supremacy. Wow. And you know what? Let me tell you something. Here's my take on white supremacy. I will say this now, and I will say this often. People who talk the most about white supremacy, like Charles Blow, like Jamel Bowie, like Alyssa Milano, believe in white supremacy. I'm going to say it again. People who talk the most about white supremacy, Tariq Nasheed, believe in white supremacy. They're the ones who are so, they're the ones who, especially white people who talk about white supremacy, they're the ones who have to protect us poor black people and us poor native indigenous people and us the poor Hispanic people. They have to protect us because they are superior and only they can protect us. That's white supremacy. Not just us living our lives. Leave me the fuck alone. All right? I don't need your help. I can do fine on my own. And as do most black people. You know, yes, there's a higher poverty rate in the black community, or so-called community, because we're still all individuals. But there's a higher poverty rate. But it's 30% below or at the poverty line. But that means 70% are middle class or higher. 70%. 70%. You know what? Put that in numbers. It's just anyway. In much the same way that the Confederate flag became a white supremacy signaling device, the MAGA hat now serves the same purpose. It is tangentially connected to Trump, but it transcends him also. It's a way of cloaking racial hostility in the presentable form of politics, you know, except for, you know, all those black people and Hispanic people who wear them. It's not just white people who wear them. It means they support an idea of, and I'm going to remind you, I'm not a Trump guy. I don't dislike everything he does. I don't like everything he does. But I'm not a Trump guy. But you know what? That hat, all that means to me is they're someone who's more dedicated to supporting Trump than I am. That's fine. To me, the person wearing the hat doesn't necessarily buy all the crap that you're saying about that hat. They don't believe that at all. So you're casting you're projecting your feelings about that hat onto somebody else. You're projecting your hate for the president on someone who wears that hat. That's what it is. Oh, it drives me nuts. Anyway, I'm going to skip that. Now, and Sullivan doesn't like Trump. So he says, I can understand this impulse to emotionally, I can understand this impulse. I'm going to start it again because I'm stuck with this. I can understand this impulse emotionally as a response to Trump's hatefulness, because he doesn't like Trump. But I fear it morally or politically. It's a vortex that can lead to nothing but the raw imposition of power by one tribe over another. There can be no dialogue here, no debate, not even a state of a union in which both tribes will participate, and none of us is immune. So anyway, there's only a little bit left, and it's, well, let's just finish it since I'm here, and then I got to cut out here, guys. What is so depressing to me about the Covington incident was how so many liberals felt comfortable taking a random teenager and purely because of his race and gender projected onto him all their resentments and hatred of, quote, white men in general. And I will include Donald Trump. I'm going to read that sentence with what I would put in it. What's so depressing me about this Covington incident is how so many liberals felt comfortable taking a random teenager and purely because of his red hat projected onto him all their resentment and hatred of Donald Trump. It's the same sentence, just a little different. Here's Kara Swisher, a sane and kind person reacting to the first video when you first heard it. To all you aggrieved folks who thought this Gillette ad was too much bad man shaming after we just saw it come to life with those awful kids and their fetid smirking harassment that elderly man on the mall, go fuck yourselves, end quote. Judging and demonizing an individual on the basis of the racial or gender group he belongs to is the core element of racism, and yet it is now routine on the left as well as the right. To her credit, Kara apologized profusely for the outburst. The point here is that tribal hatred can consume even the best of us. So, man, this is a great article, and Andrew Sullivan can't stand Trump. He's one of the never Trump Republicans. In fact, he's really kind of shifted from being this he's still a conservative, so to speak, but he has so many left-leaning things. He does not like Trump, and I really like this article. And this is what will inevitably happen once you've redefined racism or sexism to mean prejudice plus power, because it's just bullshit. It is reasonable to note the social context of bigotry and see shades of gray, in which the powerful should indeed be more aware of how their racial and gender prejudice can hurt others, and the powerless given some slack. But if that leads you to ignore or downplay the nastiest adult bigotry imaginable and focus on a teen boy's silent face as the real manifestation of evil, you are well onto your way to creating a new racism that mirrors aspects of the old. This is the abyss of hate versus hate, tribe versus tribe. This is a moment when we can all look at ourselves in the mirror of social media and see what we have become. Liberal democracy is being dismantled before our eyes by all of us. This process is greater than one president. By the way, liberal democracy is being dismantled before our eyes by all of us. No, it's by the shrieking wombats of outrage, if you ask me. And we don't have to be outraged by everything. You know what? I'm going to give him that again, because now I think about it, outrage culture is just gone insane. It used to be the I'm going to sue you culture, but outrage culture is crazy. Anyway, just ate a muffin with mold hidden in the bottom. Ugh. Thanks for sharing. Thanks, Johnny Hillcat. All right, let's see here. Let's finish this up. Liberal democracy is being dismantled before our eyes by all of us. This process is greater than one president. It is bottom up as well as top down. Tyranny, as Damon Linker reminded us this week, is not just political but psychological, and the tyrannical impulse ratcheted up by social media is in all of us. It infects the soul of the entire body politic. It destroys good people. It slowly strangles liberal democracy. This is the ongoing extinction level event. Yeah, and let me shorten. I'm going to shorten that last paragraph for you. Twitter is cancer. All right. So, well, I would love to go through Jessica Valenti's tweets here today. Maybe I'll leave them up, and I really hadn't read this thread. Curious. I would love to go read through her tweets from the 19th, and then, which I'm so shocked that she hasn't taken them down. In fact, you know what? I can't resist. No, I don't have 2 minutes. We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. Let's go back to this. I'm not going to do it because I got to close up. But hey, so I really didn't want to spend the whole day on Covington today, but those two articles, thanks for by the way, thanks Hate Campbell for sending me the one article, and the other one was one I found yesterday. Thank you so much. But let me just finish with a thank you again to the people who've donated today. I got to look at those again. This is crazy to me. This is awesome. Johnny Halgant and Jaeger Pony, thank you so much for the donations. Can greatly appreciate it. And all of you who come every day and listen to me ramble about stuff, I really appreciate you. Please remember to, did I still have that link there? That's my Streamlabs link. Thanks for donating. I'll also give you the link to the, where is it? Whoops, what did I do there? See, now I'm just not as smart as I look here. Copy, paste, click, and paste, and click. All right, so that's the link to the stream. Even if you would do that, tweet that out or send that out in hindsight, then people can watch the stream later, and that helps me. Again, my biggest thing, the greatest way you can help me is below that screen there. There's a little arrow that has a share there. The likes are great, but those no longer automatically go out on Twitter. So you have to actually physically share things for to be able to let people know about the stream. And hopefully you're enjoying it. Obviously, you guys are in the chat chatting it up. I love that. But I gotta go. I gotta get to another place. So get to go venture out in the snow and have a lovely day. So Again, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. My name is Dawg Knight, and I am out of here.